Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Paladins Evie's Winter Classic Week 3. My name is Rain Day, and I'm joined by Slick Nick the Ruler, Hi-Rez Pretty Hair, and he is the man that's going to be helping me cast the action today on Paladins game. Thank you so much for joining, and because of that, if you're just watching now, either on YouTube or Twitch, we've got some great things for you. The giveaway is ready to enter now, so make sure on Twitch to enter !giveaway and follow the link, and on YouTube, you know it's in the description. Copy and paste that and put it in your browser. But otherwise than that, Nick, there's also a Ying thing they could get too, huh?
That's right. You can link your Twitch account to your Hi-Rez account. We have a free exclusive Ying mirror skin going out for that, and there's more to come with that link, but that's all you're going to get for now. More free stuff.
More free stuff. It's always good.
That's what we're about.
And on Sunday as well. Let's take a look at the standings moving into this final week of North America's tournament before we get into the real finals where they'll be facing off against the Champion Circuit talent. As you see here, Astral Authority already clinching their spot with 2 wins in a row, 200 points on the deck. But Ver2 following close behind with 100, ZeNTTRiiX at 70, Lo-Rez at 25, and Hi-Rez with 15. And the reason I mention Hi-Rez is because they're going to be senior.
Yeah, Astral Authority, 200 points already. It would be a shame if they were to lose in the second round to the 8th place team.
But they did.
No,
they did.
Wait, that's exactly what's transpired here today. Hi-Rez coming out from the dark there. They were all the way at the bottom of the standings. Now with a chance, you know, they've beaten the team that's won twice. That shows that they have what it takes to beat all of these teams.
Exactly.
Come roaring back and earn themselves a spot in the finals.
I mean, ideally, if they went and competed, obviously Lo-Rez is here. Lo-Rez would get a couple of points, ZeNTTRiiX as well, but if they took the final place, that gave them 100 points. I'm pretty sure that would guarantee them in. I don't know. There could be some ways that it works otherwise, but it seems like the way to qualify is the way to win, and that is what they're going to be doing. And you bring up a great point, Nick. If they beat the top dogs, who else is going to stand in their way?
Right. On paper, that shows that they have what it takes to beat all of these teams. Ver2 and ZeNTTRiiX going to be on the bottom side of the bracket. ZeNTTRiiX was the team that squared off against Astral Authority in the previous weeks, but man, Hi-Rez. You know, we got Epps. I mean, we recognized them. We were thinking we went and we looked at the roster like Hi-Rez. We know some of these names. We know Protection. He's a good player.
He plays a lot
Epps,
of Buck.
We talked about Epps day one when Ranked came out. Evan and I were both grinding, playing a bunch, and Epps was a big Barrack player. I think he was the first player to reach Diamond on the first day, but that was a big landmark. He's probably long since been Masters by now.
Yeah, and you know, we were also wondering what is the life of a Barrack main? You know, what does that look like? Stay-at-home dad, you know, take the kids
life
out
of dad
with the RV and eat some dogs, which are hot dogs, by the way.
Yeah.
People were confused that I was thinking I was saying actual dogs to eat. No. You know, go camping, you know, throw out the RV and eat a Maltese, right?
Hey,
I don't think I don't know where it went.
I think context clues. We should have been able to figure that one out.
But you know what?
I wish we could have watched that series, but how do they do it? It would have been really interesting to see what maps they played, how the drafts went.
Yeah.
Would have been very interesting. We have no idea what Hi-Rez did to find themselves in the semifinals, but regardless, here they are. Frozen Guard, Timber Mill going to be the bans here, and Serpent Beach going to be the first one selected.
So finally, we're back in the normal realm rotation, with Serpent Beach, Jaguar Falls being the first selected maps, and not these kind of janky Timber Mill, Ice Mines first picks, Frozen Guard first picks that people were coming out with yesterday. So as we head into the champion draft, I expect to see some more standard picks here, a lot of prioritization of Evie lately. Fernando's still been a big pick, but of course Makoa, I think, has taken the lead as being the top frontliner that people are excited to pick up in their draft.
So Cassie going to be first selected here for Hi-Rez. Snap selected at that. Makoa will be the answer here. They will go with Fernando and Makoa. So Hi-Rez foregoing the frontliner there.
And they lose big. I mean, Lo-Rez trying to make them pay for not taking a frontliner first, taking the Cassie away. Yeah. Either Lo-Rez is really salty because they wanted to play Cassie, or they just have this game plan of thinking that Barrack is not someone that Rise is going to be able to utilize. But we know Epps, he likes to play Barrack.
That's right. And if you look at the picks that they respond with, Pip and Drogoz both very good against frontliners. Drogoz, Dragon Punch percentage damage based ultimate there, so no matter how much HP you have, 10,000 HP, Ancient Rage Makoa, he's going down. Chicken doesn't matter. You're gonna turn into that 1,500 HP. Gonna be very easy to be cleaned up. Just a matter of execution at that point. They have the lineup to do it.
And Bomb King selected as well as the secondary blaster over Evie. We were a little surprised that Buck was selected as a flanker over Evie as well, but considering the blaster complex with area effect damage being mitigated by blast shields and not Haven, a big card in this meta, it's surprising to see Evie not even on this lineup at all for any of these teams. And like I mentioned, it seems like Barrick, Buck, Epps, Protection getting their comfort picks here.
Yeah, we assume that that's where they're going to be landed, but just looking at Lo-Rez's comp, I don't see why the Buck. You know, Androxus is going to fly away. Bomb King Poppy Bomb is going to be very good displacement the second he gets leaped on. Not only that, but Bomb King has 2,500 health.
That's true.
It's not a particularly easy target for Buck to chew through. Maybe you go for Ying, but she's going to be well protected. You know, flankers, you know, they're not designed to do well in a clumped composition setting, but nonetheless, those are the compositions here. northernkyle will be playing Drogos for Arise. JAKEB on Cassie. That's a name we haven't seen in a minute. DarkRider on Pip. Protection on Buck, and Epps on Barrick, just like we thought.
And Lo-Rez Studios brings in to the battle Chalks 30. He'll be on Androxus today. ZeNTTRiiX will be playing the King of Bombs. M7 T86 will be on Makoa. Grift will be on the Ying, and MrMCgrady, he will be dunking on that Fernando.
Yep, so right out of the gate, 2 Cauterize, 2 Wreckers, and a Deft Hands for Buck. Need to get through that shielding, but Ying's healing also going to be a problem. Lo-Rez have a lot of pushing power to spearhead attacks onto the high ground here. They're going to give up the shield. Fireball away here to deal with Protection in the backline already. They're collapsing on him.
And they're trying to find an answer too. Barrick finds himself on the upper ledge, but then safely transitions down to the lower end as Protection draws the fire of the battle over towards the right side flank. But there it is, Protection getting a couple kills, but not before JAKEB gets taken down by Androxus after a very good hook by the Makoa. But M7 goes down after a missed opportunity there, and Drogos cleans up onto Grift. So Protection, northernkyle doing their thing, and you do not want to discount this blaster right here. He may have had a bit of an adjustment to his kit and the way that he works, but he is still flying high through the skies and doing plenty of damage to have an impact as Arise captures the very first objective of this game.
So Lo-Rez with the Makoa, obviously, it looked like they were stalling, trying to get a pick a little bit here, but they have, you know, that front line, that presence with Fernando and Makoa to be able to push on to the point. And it looks like they just let Epps get set up for free on the point and paid for it.
They did, and I was also surprised. You know, when Barrick doesn't go immediately to the point, he loses the advantage of being there first, and none of them wanted the point. They chased Protection earlier, and that may have come back to hurt them. We'll see if Protection can continue his ways. He's got a kill onto the Makoa, and that's a good sign for Arise and squad. He's on the upper ledges, hitting down the Fernando, and that damage with Wrecker is doing quite a bit from Protection there. 1,225 onto the shield, and so he is definitely helping to burn down the Fernando along with Cassie as well, who seems to have him in his sights. JAKEB back in the presence of professional Paladins and loving every minute of it. However, his teammate, northernkyle, not enjoying it just as much.
Yeah, Lo-Rez here getting a good start on this defense, though, taking a lot of those picks out from under Arise, who are already 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining on this clock. About 60% of the payload has been pushed here. Buck Wild is available. A lot of ultimates are starting to come online for Arise, whereas Lo-Rez Studios are only sitting about between 60 to 80% on a lot of this. So that really just shows you how much more damage is connecting from Arise.
You make a really good point there as well, and they're going to get a bonus for capturing that objective and being near the payload, and all of those things help to increase that credit score and then increase the ability for them to just have that advantage, whether it's in items, whether it's in the points for their ultimates right now, and that is what could be a big difference maker here, especially with Fernando, you know, not having any counter to the Drogos, to the Pip at all. I mean, there's just no way for any of their CC immunity to come out, especially the Makoa, the Ancient Rage, to be able to be an answer for what they have here. The question is Arise going to use it right now?
Yeah, they have a lot of ultimates. We talked about on paper how vital these ultimates are going to be, especially Pip. Pip looks good on paper almost every time when he's picked up, but a lot of times that execution can fall short here. What's going well for Arise right now is how ahead they are on the ultimate score. They can use these to close out this push. They can save them for the next push. especially if they're going to get this snowballing, get this done quickly. They're going to use this advantage, not even giving Lo-Rez a chance to get caught up, get their ultimates online, or have a response.
And that's the thing. If they use them now, I think they have the advantage now. They don't know exactly where the ultimate charge is for Lo-Rez. They're assuming that, they just got theirs. There's probably a good chance the other team could have theirs as well. But now is really the golden opportunity, because if you wait and save it, you're going to go to the point fight possibly at this, even place when you've really been dominating this entire round.
Yeah, it's going to be on the back of MrMCgrady with this Immortal to get that online as soon as possible here. But the tricky part is you bait this out with the Dragon Punch so easily. You're kind of forcing it. You can't just go down for free. He's going to have his hand forced. And then that leaves them wide open for Evil Mojos, for Buck Wilds to just tear them apart.
That's true, and they just have so much damage coming out from the Buck. And one of the things is with Buck, a lot of the kind of question is when you activate that ultimate, are you going to get all that damage off before people focus you down? You don't get any, increased shielding. You don't get any increased damage reduction. So you're pretty much still the same Buck, but you're hitting a lot harder. If you're an Evil Mojo form and you're a chicken, you can't hit back.
No.
And so the timing of that Evil Mojo with the Buck Wild could be absolutely phenomenal for a Rise if they're able to pull it off. But more so, like you said, Dragon Punch, just a great bait to potentially stop that counter with the Immortal.
It's incredible to me how well protection has been doing on this Buck thus far. I thought it was a pick that was going to struggle a little bit, mostly because ZeNTTRiiX can just fly away. Poppy Bomb creates so much distance if Bomb King gets left on top of the fact that we mentioned he has 2,500 health. Very difficult for Buck to bring down. And we saw as Lo-Rez moved up onto the high ground during that first capture point fight protection, he came in from the back, got collapsed on immediately, and it felt like chased out of the fight. But it looked like the deed had been done almost, because then it forced Lo-Rez into this weird spot where they didn't really know what they wanted to do. They were kind of looking at him. Do we chase him down? There's still Epps is on the point already. They have 40% of the capture point. What are we doing, boys?
Exactly.
Point was already over.
Exactly. You give Barrick the ability for him to set up his turrets. You leave Pip there with the nice zone, the explosive flask, allowing them to easily poke you out before you're able to get there. And the man of the hour, the one we're talking about most right now, protection with that Buck Wild, waiting for the perfect chance to use it. And there's the Bomb King, the engagement that Nick had discussed earlier. He activates the recovery, so he's going to heal up a little bit. Gets the kill already on a choke 30, leaps back up, but what a surprise he had waiting for him. A nice pull. It's going to make the Pip run back in fear and hop away. And unfortunately, Barrick is going to be no longer there. JAKEB slaying some revenge, getting down the Bomb King, but all in all, pretty decent hold by Lo-Rez.
Yeah, it's kind of tough for Barrick to get rolling here. Once he's kind of been stopped on the payload, he can get his two little power cookers up there on the cart and get rolling. It's really going to be on the back of his teammates, though. Here comes the Buck Wild. He is chewing through. This is what we talked about. The ultimate defense was just not there from Lo-Rez.
That was clean, man. He hit the jump, he dropped down, hit the shot, jumped up again without even thinking about it. He literally got he was so aware of how much damage that was going to do.
I think he got Poppy Bomb.
He jumped. Maybe that's what it was, the Poppy Bomb interaction, because it just looked like, his jump cooldown was like up way too fast. That's what it was.
The ultimates are online for Lo-Rez too. They just didn't use them. Immortal was there. Ancient Rage was there. Everything was there for them, and now they're down 2-0 early. JAKEB protection going to be leading the charge here. 30K on the Cassie, 22K for the Buck.
And this is pretty impressive stuff here. KDAs, at this point don't necessarily matter too much. They don't tell the story. They tell a little bit of the story, tell a little bit of the tale, but really the direction that they want to take this game with the items, that's going to be, I think, the biggest indicator for Lo-Rez and a Rise. What are they investing into? You see McGrady going into double resilience, Nick.
Wow.
This is incredible. Finally, we're seeing it here. He does not want to be dealing with that CC. And talk about Pip right now.
Yeah, so he won't be chickened as long. He won't be slowed as long. Here comes the Evil Mojo. We'll see this as MrMCgrady is the first to pop out of that Evil Mojo form. JAKEB doing such a great job right now. Gets the healer separated from the fight, is still here to peel for his teammate. Shoots the reverse a little bit, but no worries as northernkyle able to pick up that one.
Super unfortunate there. He buys the resilience. He throws his credits into not being demolished by the chicken and getting out of that with a little bit more time on his hands and getting back to that full HP, but he goes down just as the only target to fall. The Ancient Rage will bait out the rocket boots from Barrick, but Makoa says, get back here, buddy. A Gerson arm up in the air trying to help the turtle clean space, but he's going to be forced to run away. away. Barrick will fall thanks to the hook, and ZeNTTRiiX and Chalks30 are doing their job, but northernkyle puts an end to that, and with protection back in the fight, there's a chance for Hi-Rez to retake this.
0% on the Dragon Punch, just used. Immortal still available. King Bomb still available. It's going to be tough for Hi-Rez to find their way back in here. The fire's going to miss. Won't get the cooldown reset. Here comes the Dragon Punch. We're trying to bait out the Immortal. We'll find it. Can't find anyone outside of the range.
Wow.
Will not connect. Will do the damage. Overtime's already ticking through, though.
What a good Immortal. Nice immunity. It's captured by the reversal. That could be some serious damage onto protection. He stays alive, leaps around the corner. They don't want to chase him, but they don't need to. They're on the objective, and they've got the capture. 1 point for Lo-Rez Studios, climbing their way, inching their way back into this game. And so far, they've had all the answers for Hi-Rez this round.
Moving forward now, trying to confirm this kill onto protection, who is already low, but is met by northernkyle. Scared off for the time being, finds one more shot onto protection. He's completely forced out of this fight. Finds JAKEB here, sneaks up on him. They walked up back to back. Little defiant style points coming through right now for Chalks30.
He's just feeling himself, man. One after another, and again, another one comes in for the Accursed Skies man. He goes ahead and feels himself near that payload and just goes to make sure that him and his teammates are properly protected in that back line, saving those reversals to either cover himself or step in front of a huge damaging ability and turn that right back onto the enemy team. He's confident, and that's important as an Androxus player, but confidence will only get you so far with JAKEB on the other side of things. McCoa looking to finish off the pip. Nice shot in the air. It will trade, and that's very important to continue this push potential for Lo-Rez.
4 kills for Hi-Rez currently. They're trying to hold this defense because they're still in a position to benefit from the defense point, putting themselves up 3-1 potentially with that early conversion, just showing how huge and important that is. Buckwild's available. Protection spots everyone around. Gets clipped on the door, and the overpass might spell his doom. Going to be sacrificing a little bit of that mobility. He will be safe for the time being.
I like the Wrecker as well on the side of Hi-Rez, just all of the unity they have and burning down those shields. Fernando's shield has really not played a huge impact in this game, and that is going to be the issue. It's leaving so many easy targets for protection to finish off. Even the Fernando, even the McCoa, triple kill for
Let's make it a quad.
The man himself. Protections not protecting anybody on the enemy team. He's going to slay 4 of them, send them back to base and tell them, you might want to try that one more time.
Yep, so he gets the angle there on a lot of low health kills. It was great positioning from him, right? He just came down as soon as the fight had kind of concluded there. Everyone was a little poke, licking their wounds. Nope, Buck's full health, ready to roll. Finds 4 in the backline just like this. He's sneaking up on these low health targets, taking them out, doing exactly what the flanker was meant to do.
Protections is on fire right now, and not literally, no, but he's doing what he needs to do for his team. And at the end of the round, you could say it's more of a consolation. It's something that they have to give up for attempting to stay near that payload. They know they're not in a good position. Normally mid-round they would have fallen back, but protection taking full advantage of that, and credits to boot.
Hi-Rez 3 for Epps, Hi-Rez 2 for DarkRider here. Deft Hands 2 for protection, all of these wreckers as well. Lo-Rez had the advantage, all their shielding going in to this game early, but now it's going to start to fall off. MrMCgrady, Resilience 3, it's a very cheap card, easy to get online quickly. The main reason he's going to be picking this up, it's going to do a number of things for him, right? We've got the slows coming out of Buck. We've got the very reliable slow coming out of Pip with the explosive blast. His evil mojo duration while he is a chicken will be cut in half because there is a minimum duration of 2 seconds for that ultimate. Fire spit knockback, disengage knockback. This is actually a great pickup from MrMCgrady.
It's great, you know, and a lot of times, you know, he's looking for that shield. He's looking for the pressure potentially offensively. There are the chickens, and there's the Buckwild. The double kill from Protections is on fire, and he's going for a third. Ying trying to illusion away, but he spotted it out. He's seen that movie. He's read that book. JAKEB and Buck. Protection being the runner of that one will go ahead and in the hopes of Lo-Rez Studios at attempting to capture this objective as they push back with 87% already on the point.
Here comes the Immortal, here comes the King Bomb, here comes McCoa trying to hang on, a cursed arm. Lo-Rez are dumping everything into this fight. They're currently 2 for 1 in the exchange with control of the point. Hi-Rez are scared for now. They are on the retreat. northernkyle, very close to death. right now. Vex30 trying to take him down, and he will.
Jox30 gets it, but they haven't solved the answer. They haven't solved the equation, which is protection. And he seems to be the one in the back line that is going to be pressuring every single person that would have an impact on the enemy team. He jumps in, looking to draw some more cover fire in behind. Nobody is noticing him again. Grift goes down thanks to JAKEB, and Fernando and Makoa have no idea that Buck is behind them. And now the Androxus is the lone warrior who will die in the blink of an eye and is not going to be successful here. Bomb King, another casualty of war, will just stall a potential and inevitable victory here for Hi-Rez.
And there it is. So we've seen what they were able to do here. They're taking out Astro Authority. They've taken the game off of Lo-Rez Studios here in all cylinders, currently firing for these guys. 81,000 damage on JAKEB's Cassie. That could be the reason why they first picked it, but protection for me just had such a great game. 2 deaths, 39 eliminations.
2 deaths? I mean, I don't know the last time I've seen a game where everyone on the enemy team or both teams had, you know, an average of 6 to 7 deaths and somebody had like 2. It's not common. Usually we'll see like 2 deaths across the entire team that won because it's just this wipe, but he is a outlier to the extreme. Even on his team, Protection just played lights out there, and I would be curious if they even allow his Buck to be played in this next round.
Can they take it away? Can they make use of it here? When you have kind of these weird, this is a weird draft, right? You wouldn't look at this draft and be like, wow, that's looking real good right now with the Buck, with the Pip, but they made it work, and that could be just these off-meta picks. I don't want to say off-meta because we only have so many champions in the game right now, so everyone's kind of, you know, in the mix, give or take a little bit. But, you know, on a map like Ice Mines, these kind of off-kilter picks, it puts you in an uncomfortable situation if you're Lo-Rez Studios. You don't know what you want to do to play against it.
Yeah, and really the truth is, as we head into the champion draft, every single champion has merit. Even though that may not be the best in conjunction with other champions, it may not be as strong as others, there is potential for every champion to be effective. And sometimes it is just based on the mastery of the player in terms of positioning, awareness, loadouts, of being able to just know how to work it. And Hi-Rez, all of a sudden, you will see, go with the mastery choice here and say, we want Buck because Protection, he can carry us all the way here.
Yeah, positioning, I think, was the big one for me for Protection. He always seemed to be around the backside, ready to pinch. As soon as anyone from Lo-Rez was retreating with low HP, he was always there to clean up the kill. Lo-Rez with the snap pick onto Cassie. They want to get that away from JAKEB.
Wow.
Hi-Rez going to answer with Buck and Androxus. The Pip will be the response. So both these teams showing some favoritism for the Volpine.
You know, this is kind of interesting, too. I mean, Hi-Rez picked the Pip and did well, and you don't necessarily see Pip being someone who is counter-picked often because usually teams favor one healer over the other, and Pip isn't one of those that flip-flops. Typically, you'll see a Maldamba or a Ying stayed with or adjusted, but they thought that was too big of a counter. For me, seeing the Fernando and the Shaolin on Ice Mines is a huge advantage for Hi-Rez right now. Not only on the push, not only on the defense, but just on the early aggression. And you see tandeming with Buck, a big fireball, man, that could be just a wipe in just a second.
Definitely. The Pip was picked up, you know, to counter that double frontliner. You know, whether Hi-Rez meant to or not, I assume that they were aware of the resilience, but they played around that very well in the previous game, focusing MrMCgrady first because they knew they only had 2 seconds to burn him down. So great adjustment coming out of them. I don't know that Pip is really the pick that Lo-Rez needed to. You know, you don't have to take it away in a situation when you don't have 2 frontliners threatening the pick in the first place.
I'm just going to give a shout out to MrMCgrady for picking up resilience. Just thank you for choosing different items and experimenting. That is how things happen. That is how you break the trend.
And he still died for it.
And you still died for it. And you got to be willing to still do it. You know what I mean?
Haven wouldn't have saved him there either.
That's what I'm saying. You have to be willing to try different things. And I love that mentality. You're going to lose on your road to being successful. And of course, Hi-Rez here, they were successful last game. northernkyle on Shaolin, Protection on his famous Buck. JAKEB will be on Androxus, DarkRider on Maldamba, and Epps on to the Fernando.
Lo-Rez will have Chalks on Cassie, this time ZeNTTRiiX on Bomb King once again, M7 on Makoa, MrMCgrady on Pip, and Grift will be on Victor. A couple master ridings coming out from Grift and McGrady. You see him leading the pack. Makoa will be the first one here, threatening that pole, threatening that early pick.
I like the early split up too by Lo-Rez. They decide they don't want to be victim to an early fireball getting too much damage, and now Victor's in a perfect spot. But Buck, he lands the jump in the air, and this is wonderful for him. Protection spots out the Russian, and he takes him down. He's going that trigger man Buck. He's playing that a little bit too close to the vest here, especially since he just found that Russian target and was so clinical in eliminating him as needed. But the Pimp is following up, and soon they both get each other at the same time. A beautiful symphony, and it all comes to the end with the final note, and they're both back to base as this fight continues with 39% and counting for Lo-Rez.
Yeah, it was a bit weird positioning for me from Lo-Rez. That would look like he was a Fernando and not a Makoa, trying to get around for the fireball. You know, the idea there with the master riding is you put yourself in a position to get a good early hook, get in position for that to offer it up to your team. I don't see the necessity to have to run around in the back flank with your victim. Those are two characters I didn't see that really need to get to the back flank.
Yeah.
I thought more they need to get here and get set up.
And I think it was more just he didn't want to be the victim of what you see Protection doing again and again to him. He did not want to be the person that just got the eye of this Buck. And whoever seems to be on the hit list for this trigger man seems to be going down with just unprecedented efficiency. And as Hi-Rez play back after losing the initial capture point, find themselves leading 1-0 here on Ice Mines as their push continues with 2 minutes and 13 seconds on the clock.
Bomb King trying to do what he can to control the space around the payload. Grumpy Bomb gonna be good, gonna force a couple people around, but most of them just will be able to line of sight that. Buck Wild popped in the backline, shut down immediately. The threat from the Bomb King is so real. If those shots lands, you do not have long to live. Maldamba the next to fall. Chalks30 finding 2 in this engagement. All but cleaned up is northernkyle.
There's a heat haze popped by the Shaolin as well. For what reason, we weren't able to see it. Apparently to survive from the Makoa pressure, but that was not there indeed. Makoa, very good counter to Shaolin right now. And of course, as we transition, we're not sure if that will stay the same. Currently, that hook is very, very strong against his ultimate and is planted right now. So we'll see, but in the meantime, he's still being effective, and JAKEB being so effective with this poke. It is just, Chalks30, excuse me, and he is showing why they picked up the Cassie here on Ice Mines, just being so effective from range. And Hi-Rez, almost dead after even starting this push.
Yep, JAKEB gonna be poked out very low, but they did lose track of the Buck. I was just gonna say, he went around the backside. They gotta turn and remember where he went. He's coming through. He's already found 1 kill. He's going to have the chance to get healed up unless he's bursted down, and he is.
MrMCgrady finds the kill, and him and ZeNTTRiiX have been impressive this round, dealing with the Buck in a lot of situations where they didn't deal with him in this last map. And so now the table's potentially turning here. 45 seconds left for Hi-Rez to get their stuff together. A very nice combo with the impale going immediately into planted, guaranteeing about 1,600 extra damage, but wasn't able to finish the kill, and there he gets taken down thanks to his hesitation there. And MrMCgrady finds one on Pip.
Yeah, he's already kind of overextended. Might as well try and finish that kill, sacrifice the high ground, get something for your transgressions. MrMCgrady going to be able to clean him up. King Bomb available. Grumpy Bomb gonna come out to zone right now. Hi-Rez just trying to find a way in. Protection misreads the Grumpy Bomb. Stunned and punished. That is not gonna be good for Hi-Rez trying to close out this push.
That's not a sexy look right there. And of course, he's gonna have time back in base to think about how he can impact this fight, but it's up to his teammates if they can help him. These Grumpy Bombs are being so effective. Planted is going to go down to the Pump King, and he will finish off this overtime, looking to finish the Fernando. A fireball from up top will actually kill him, but he's not worried about it. His teammates seem to have it under control. The pressure was enough, and that's going to be a perfect hold, a 1-1 score here on Ice Mines.
A couple of blessed Grumpy Bombs will do that for you. On an 11 streak right now is ZeNTTRiiX. 2 master ridings, not ranked up just yet. Chalks30 running the gauntlet with the items here. Life Rip, Cauterize, Chronos, Haven, all good stuff for a Cassie, and it's showing. He is leading those damage charts, not by much, but a lead nonetheless. On the side of Hi-Rez, northernkyle picking up the Haven. Protection's got deft hands again. Actually going for that stun style build, it looks like. Maldamba picking up deft hands as well, so he can get those reloads off quicker. More reliable stun and CC for his team.
Life Rip on McGrady is, well, being one of those things I don't often see on a Pip, but the sustain is something that he's going to want to add to his repertoire. The burst healing is something he's got on lock, but keeping his teammates alive, that will be Pip's job as we go here, and also doing some damage as well, that highly flexible support that he is. And now, of course, you see Shaolin on the left-hand side using those long lines of sights to try and impale his opponents and set up something strong. Planet goes in. He almost finishes off the Cassie. Jox 30 is in trouble. The Accursed Arm does come out, and so this will give JAKEB a chance to take down McGrady. That's a kill, a double kill for JAKEB. He's going in for more, puts up the reversal, and he's going to look around, make sure nobody's following him. But him, protections, and his buddy Shaolin are going to go on to Jox, finishing off the Cassie. JAKEB was playing him last game, and man, it hasn't made any difference thus far. These point captures have gone straight to a rise at 63 and counting on the objective.
Won't have the damage, but he will have the range to dismount all of these respawns coming out from Lo-Rez. The pick onto ZeNTTRiiX from northernkyle is huge. That is going to mean they have literally no chance of getting back to this point without all 5 members here. Rise going to go up 2-1. Start the push once again.
Now protection is looking like his former self. That jump just doing so much damage. And can you believe it? Had a slow on it as well. Thank God this buck got nerfed, because I don't even see Lo-Rez standing a chance without it. There we see the group up on the left, the aggressiveness and the confidence coming out from Hi-Rez now. Having this payload push is shown that they are wanting to do things differently this time. They're not going to sit back. They want to keep protection. And JAKEB just literally pressuring them out of the gate so that they can get as much room on this payload to go.
Oh my God, the impale right now. Triple kill for JAKEB, but the team synergy, that impale saves protection's life. He gets healed up from recovery. Buckwild comes out. The fight is rolling, and that is the name of the game here on Ice Mines, momentum. You have to keep rolling. You have to keep the respawn staggered. The respawn walk is so long. If you die, you will likely not make it back to the fight in time to have a chance. They are keeping this momentum strong right now. Protection finds 2, but Hi-Rez start to bleed a little bit, dropping 2 picks.
JAKEB makes a crucial mistake there, comes back into the fight as he's healing from 14 health and gets bopped in the face thanks to a Makoa cannon, and therefore no Androxus to support protection and the rest of the aggressive flank, and that is going to force them to pull back. JAKEB a little bit over eager there and does not find himself in a favorable position. Shaolin getting pressured by ZeNTTRiiX, who we've noted earlier has been having a very strong game, landing some crucial grumpy bombs, and he himself will elect to stay in safety before heading back out into the fight. And that long range from him is going to help, especially when he's landing these impales as consistently as he has been. And with 42 seconds on the clock, this looks to be the time that Hi-Rez are going for their final push.
They're clumped up. Big reversal, 1,600 damage, double kill for JAKEB right now, looking to keep things going. One more shot on protection will do it. He's going to fall, but he's going to be able to take M7 with him. There it goes. MrMCgrady falls as well. Cursed Arm is here. This could be a conversion.
It's got to be. They've got to finish him off. Thank God JAKEB's still alive. If he can stay down, he can. And that is ZeNTTRiiX's job right there. He takes down the Accursed Arm man, and he is actually going to help take down every single other player on the side of Hi-Rez. Accursed Arm was in his hand. JAKEB had the opportunity, and instead he goes down, dying twice in crucial moments, and does not allow Hi-Rez to capitalize on what would have been a game potentially winning round this next round by pushing it in.
Didn't force any ultimates out of Lo-Rez either. All of them are online for every single player. A lot of credits as well. Third master riding comes out from ZeNTTRiiX. Epps finally responding with one of his own. It may force somebody on Lo-Rez to go master riding too, as the playing field has now been leveled in terms of mount speed to cauterize too here. Really starting to flesh out Ice Mines. Everyone's getting something from everything, it looks like here. DarkRider going hard for that deft hands. It's a very expensive item, 400 at rank 1, 800 at rank 2, but he really wants to get these stuns. One of the more valuable things Maldamba can bring to the table once he gets, cauterized online. Those cauterized 2, cauterized 3, the healing starts to be a little bit less effective, obviously, but Maldamba still bringing a lot to the table in terms of CC and control. And there is the biggest proponent of that.
God.
A big Dread Serpent.
See ya
M7
later.
goes off the map. A clean 5-0 ace team fight from Hi-Rez.
Sunday, we gonna wipe Lo-Rez Studios, and that's exactly what they did. No strolls in the park. Hi-Rez has risen to the task and slayed the giant 5-headed beast here, and they are nowhere nowhere near as looking as strong as they have on the defense on these point objectives. And that is what Ice Mines usually comes down to, and that is what they are struggling at the most. The Ancient Rage will bait out the kill, but with 93% on the objective and protection, zoning, getting a double kill of his own, I don't know if it's possible for Lo-Rez to take this back.
They're getting so zoned out. He was able to make it to the point, sending it into overtime, but for what the snake stun into the planet is going to be far too much damage for any one turtle to handle. Rise take yet another point capture.
They cannot deal with this protections. I mean, they just can't deal with protections Buck right now. He is so good. His zone is like you're talking about the crust of the earth. He's like at the crust of the earth when they're just at the top. They're just swimming, standing on normal ground. He is so far back on this enemy team.
And it works so well on Ice Mines there. They only had to win one team fight to completely capture the point. The zone was so strong. They've already captured, pushed it about halfway here. The momentum plays from Arise are so good. When you give them an inch, and they're currently taking a mile here. They're getting stopped up a little bit on this push. It's going to give Lo-Rez the chance to get set back up. But boy, do they have a flanker that knows how to break a defense.
And what I have seen here is a bit of hesitation from JAKEB on my end, just noticing some moments where he's had his ultimate, noticing some moments where he's been able to, wait a little bit here. Yeah, and not using some of these things, maybe being on the conservative side and waiting, knowing that they've had such success, such overwhelming success on the point objectives. Why waste anything valuable on this push? I mean, do you think there is a part of them just saying, this is gravy if we get this?
Yeah, trying to change stuns right now. He could be following calls here. We do not know. The reason for the season. 1 minute remaining on the push. We'll find the shot on the Grift, a little bit separated from the team. Everyone is very low from Lo-Rez right now. This could be a big swing play coming out. JAKEB needs to find the shots here. We'll take out ZeNTTRiiX. McGrady, the only one left alive. Here's the hook. No cooldowns available. Nether step just now coming up, but too little, too late. The payload continues to roll. Rise have the chance to get grouped up, maybe make one more good attempt at this, but Lo-Rez doing a good job stabilizing on their defense thus far.
Hanging in here. Lo-Rez Studios fighting for a chance to change things around. And of course, if they let it go to that moment, Heat Haze popped by the Shaolin, they will be susceptible to Lo-Rez possibly having a huge comeback and making a very big impact in this next fight, potentially taking this 3-3 game. There's 14 seconds left to figure out who will be the victor. A nice disengage will force Shaolin into an awkward spot here, but protection, he's gonna make things a lot more awkward for everyone else. He cannot save his teammate.
No.
He can get some bonus damage onto the pimp and find him in the air, and now Buck and Fernando are left here to face off against the Bomb King. This duel will determine so much. He will get the better end, but he will not slay the Bomb King, and he wants to finish it off. He knows how important ZeNTTRiiX has been. He pops Buck wild, he gets a double kill. He's going for a triple. If he can get this one, he can single-handedly win this game for his team. He's gonna have to leap out. Recovery is on a 4-second cooldown, and so he will wait for next round with no ultimate.
Wow.
To try and capture this final objective.
That's a pretty damn honorable attempt there at a hero play, I gotta say,
If
man.
only JAKEB had the same type of, they did that at the same time.
He wasn't there. JAKEB was coming back from respawn.
I'm just saying, no, in general, if they just all committed like that,
Yeah. Protection laying it all on the line there. Like you mentioned, though, doesn't have Buckwild available for this point fight, and this is where it counts, man. This is Ice Mines, 3-3. Next point wins, despite Arise being so dominant throughout this game. JAKEB caught Arise 2, kill to heal 2, morale boost 2. A lot of ultimates still in the contention here. Dread Serpent online once again. We have Immortal, we have a Cursed Arm, all kinds of good stuff here for Arise to try and close this out. They did it off the back of the Dread Serpent once before. Let's see if they can do it again.
This Pip ultimate can be huge, and he misses. The Dread Serpent is completely useless in this fight, as well as that reload. He's going for it, but he's gotten nothing from that. And all of a sudden, Victor's Barrage is down as well, so that doesn't get a lot of damage here. 2 shots will go in, and it will get 3 members of Lo-Rez very low. northernkyle and DarkRider finish it off. So Moldava with the damage is going to play the biggest impact, not the ultimate. And now JAKEB is flashing forward to the low targets. Makoa has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Ancient Rage is not available. And thank goodness JAKEB saved his accursed arm, because that's what led to that eventual snowball. And 81% looking like the game here for Arise.
Yeah, they're just going to be out here zoning, dismounting all the members of Lo-Rez. Almost able to get back his Chalks 30 on the Cassie. Current leader in the damage for the game. But damage don't get W's. Not always. You got to be able to capture the point there.
Wait a second. It says JAKEB actually has more damage than Chalks 30. Which is weird. But he's a flank. He's a flank.
That is. So that's why he's not able to be in that top damage score. That's going to go to Buck there with that relaxed fit look. That tailored suit looking so fine. Protection. Big, big player for Arise. Probably a big reason that they were able to beat Astro Authority.
And 11 solo kills for the Buck. I mean, that's just being outplayed. That's just a carry. That is what it looks like when one player is just impacting a game so much. northernkyle as well with 8 solo kills, 82,000 damage. I mean, this is a very strong, I think, map for Shaolin. I think it's a very strong performance for him as well. Not a lot of places to run away from the planted, not a lot of places to hide from the long ranges of his sights.
A lot of setup coming from DarkRider on the Maldamba as well, committing to that snake reload stun build there, providing a lot of setup for that planet to connect multiple times. It looked like Lo-Rez, though, in that last fight. I mean, despite Dread Serpent missing, they still looked like they were just so reactionary in their fight. They had ultimates as well. They had more, I believe, than Arise going into that fight, but it didn't look like they were in any place to set the pace of that fight. They just kind of kept reacting. They didn't know what they wanted to do, and as a result, Arise able to keep control of the game, take the second one as well. We'll head on over to the map screen here to see where the potential last game of this series will unfold.
Fish Market will be where they play, and I think part of, too, Ice Mines was they've seen what has happened in the past, where teams have grouped up on a Fernando, and the fight's been over from that moment. So they kind of took the upper balcony route a lot more than you would probably think, and really split up. And I think that helped for the flankers to really capitalize on that, because that's what flankers struggle at, dealing up with against grouped opponents and teams. But because they split up and got low health, I just think it was a field day. You see 11 eliminations on the Maldamba and 15 on the tank, I believe, but you have 35 and up on all 3 flanker damage dealers, Androxus, Buck, and Shaolin. It was a flank game, basically. Damage game.
Very dangerous here. They cannot seem to find an answer for the Buck. We head into the Champions Draft here. We'll see can they find anything else. Will they first pick the Cassie again? And they will, taking that away from JAKEB, but is it all for naught? JAKEB was very effective on that Androxus.
He was, but I don't think his rhythm, I think, on Cassie, and I think more importantly, Lo-Rez's rhythm on Cassie with Chalks was really good. I think you take JAKEB and he plays pretty much the same on Androxus and Cassie, but I think Chalks had a really good performance last game on Cassie, and I think they want to make sure they keep that for him. The real counter here coming forward is the Shaolin being taken away after seeing that be an impressive feat on Arise last game. They're going to actually take that and play that, and this is really going to throw like a Haven composition towards Lo-Rez here, especially without a healer selected.
Yeah, so the Shaolin and the Makoa, both good pickups, because Makoa is so good against Shaolin's planted particularly, and I think planted might be the answer they're looking for Protection's Buck. Shaolin is one of the few characters that can just go toe-to-toe with Buck in the backline if he's landing all of his shots, and there's not much Buck can do to counter that. Once he's leaped on you, he's kind of committed, you know, for the next 6 seconds until that heroic leap is back off cooldown. Another good answer was Bomb King, but that wasn't really paying the dividends they needed for him.
When ZeNTTRiiX went off on Bomb King and won the duels with Buck, they actually were great. They were finding Buck had no rhythm, protection died a lot that one round, and now all of a sudden without that, it seems like ZeNTTRiiX he's found his rhythm. He wants that Bomb King. He just needs to know that he could do it in a map that favors him a little bit more open spaces for that Poppy Bomb to move and get him out of the line of sight and away from the Buck when the aggression does come to play. But not a lot of blaster damage except for the Bomb King on Lo-Rez, whereas Arise, they're going to be having plenty with the Drogos and the Pip.
Yep, 2 characters that deal well with protections. Buck, the big talking point of this series, but Lo-Rez go into that double frontliner lineup once again. Chalks 30 is going to be on Cassie, ZeNTTRiiX on Bomb King, M7 on Makoa, MrMCgrady on Fernando, and Grift going to be on Shaolin this time.
And on the side of Arise, Protection is on Buck, northernkyle is on Drogos, JAKEB will be on Androxus, DarkRider is on Pip, and Epps is on the Barrack. And again, Nick, something to note, Lo-Rez doesn't have a healer on their team as well, so gonna have 0 sustain going into this.
Yeah, which is good. It's a good look for Hi-Rez because they don't have to be forced into buying Cauterize at all. They have 2 Wreckers. They have a deft hands. JAKEB is going to be able to freely go into that morale boost. Epps has got Chronos. Man, they got a lot of room to operate here. Not only that, but the Dragon Punch and the Evil Mojo worked very well against the frontliners last time.
Oh my God, but look at this. What's working well is everyone grouping up together, letting Makoa get a double kill, and ZeNTTRiiX and Chalks just free farm everybody, but all the while, Barrick staying home dad. He's like, where do the kids go, honey? Did you see him? I knew they were playing in the yard, but oh my God, they're all dead. That's pretty much his inner monologue at this moment. 21% and now 24% on the side for Lo-Rez.
Yeah.
And man, that's got to be a bad revelation for the Barrick and for Hi-Rez.
So Epps goes down there a little bit off the point. I would have liked to see him just commit, stay on the point, prevent Lo-Rez from getting as much capture progress as humanly possible. Just full commit there. He's going to go down anyway. I mean, it's a Cassie chasing you. Yeah. Good luck getting away from that as Barrick. A nice hook. Gonna land there onto Pip, trying to pick him out, but now a little bit of overextension. He shell spins into danger and is punished for it.
I didn't like that decision. He got a great hook, but then went so aggressive. He just wasn't able to capitalize on the pressure he put onto his opponents, and then the pressure shifted towards him. Great kills coming out from protection here. Jumping, it hits the actual damage onto Bomb King, so perfect, and the jump is available. He may actually chase after that, but on the point, you see Drogos with a rise, just zoning out the competition. JAKEB on the Androxus, Nether stepping away from danger and finding the reversal reset again for the objective to be captured, all the while for Hi-Rez.
Rolling out now, 2 minutes and plenty of change remain on the clock. northernkyle currently on forward zone, doing a good job of it, but taken down by ZeNTTRiiX Bomb King, who looked like he got just a little bit forgotten about that. That will be cleaned up here, 76%. On Buck Wild, up in the air, the Accursed Arm's gonna come out. He's gonna find 2 shots, but he's paying for it as he is going to be taking the long walk back from base.
That was really nice interaction as well. He anticipated the withdraw, moving Shaolin to the right-hand side, but actually he chose to do it against the tree backwards and kind of just stayed where he was, and he ends up paying the price for it. There it is, protections. He's got a lot of damage, and look at that. He's going to stay alive. Recovery here, ticking through, helping him out, and it's going to finally go on cooldown, but keeps the buck, the flank, the pressure type damage champion alive and well enough to help JAKEB finish off ZeNTTRiiX, who was really the last hope for a moment. JAKEB really being aggressive here and gets the headshot onto Shaolin. He doesn't move though, which is surprising. Grift gets taken down, gets soloed, bro, and that is unparalleled just confidence and precision by JAKEB.
Cute little rocket jump there coming out from northernkyle. Currently on the retreat. Still a minute remaining here, so Lo-Rez have a time to get grouped up for 1, maybe 2 more pushes, depending on how this one goes. Epps just barely able to leave, maybe able to live there. Taking out ZeNTTRiiX as well. Dome Shield is available as well. Dragon Punch is available. Evil Mojo's ready to go. Buck Wild's ready here. Hi-Rez have all the tools they need to close out this push.
Look at this Barrick just sneaking up on the left-hand side. He's just, you know, wearing his New Balance, wearing his khakis, and just like chilling, not letting anybody take in any eyes onto the frontward flank there, and pretty much just as a tank. Barrick is one of those guys, Nick, that just you don't necessarily pay attention to until you have to, it seems like. There's just so many other potential threats until Barrick just starts shooting you down with that bonus damage from those turrets. You're like, okay, we've got to take this guy down.
He can hit for 1,000 on double mark targets if he's landing, you know, consistent headshots here. 7 seconds to get on the payload. Here comes Epps. Rocket bootsing from around the corner. They're going to respond to protection, though. They've seen what this man can do when left unchecked, and they are going to check him quickly.
And Barrick still, again, on the point. It's just like, okay, now we can deal with Barrick. He's been there. He's been trying to do his thing. In fact, you may see Epps generating this, yes, this spread out nature from the enemy team, but is that the best thing for them? It seems like this push has not worked, and there was no pressure or no shielding, no kind of off tank to support that initial aggression by JAKEB in protection.
Yeah, they did a good job responding to protection there. They know Barrick takes a little while to get set up before he's really super dangerous on the payload, so they used that kind of downtime, that setup time, to the fullest advantage. You know, this is kind of the exact comp they went against in game 1, it feels like, where they had Protection and JAKEB are the ones that are going to try and break open the push, create that space for Epps on this barrack to get set up. And without Protection and JAKEB there to do it,
yeah,
it all fell apart.
I mean, to me, you see
double
Protection.
resilience this time and aggression.
And this is
what
pretty impressive here, man. I mean, we're seeing some varied item changes and choices, and I love it because M7 and MrMCgrady say, I don't want to deal with this chicken at all. I don't want to deal with these knockbacks at all. I don't want to deal with these slows at all, and I'm going to use my credits so efficiently. It happens again, but the chickens come through, and if you can't survive half a second, resilience ain't going to help you out, dude. And there it is, JAKEB looking to finish off ZeNTTRiiX, who he does poppy bomb himself up to the upper ledge, but cannot find himself away from the line of sights of Androxus's revolver, and Hi-Rez take a very tasty lead here in this first fight.
Yep, frying up those chickens. Nice and quick, 30% on the capture point for them. The respawns have started to return from Lo-Rez. They died as a team, so they're going to respawn as a team. They're coming in force right now, but 60% and climbing still. They have to make a move quickly here before they give up too much progress.
And that is going to be their prerogative here. What move can they make? Who can get focused? The Makoa, when he's taking down protections, has been fantastic. Look at the damage, though, that's being provided from Drogo, so no one is focusing on him yet. A really nice runaway from the Makoa to avoid the Dragon's damage, and he actually goes down thanks to Grift. Shaolin from the back line providing that long-range pressure, and so it seems that shifts have been made, and Lo-Rez Studios now with 51%.
Still able to take out the Bomb King, so not all is lost. Drogo struggling to survive these days post Dragon Punch. Two members on the side. That is JAKEB and Protection up on the high ground flank, trying to pick off this Makoa. They know he's low, doesn't have his shell shield available to him. JAKEB is falling very low. This reversal gonna do a lot of damage, but not enough. He goes down. In the back line right now, Chalk's just laying down constant pressure. Back in overtime, we find ourselves once again Hi-Rez currently in control of this one, 99-72.
And here is where Chalks has done a great job. She's focused off all the damage dealers. She just should be so lucky that it happened at this amount of time. Cassie will fall, and though Makoa is here to burn the overtime, he is a little bit too late. And that is going to mean that Hi-Rez will clean this one up thanks to the zone from Buck and take a 2-1 victory, Nick. But as I was mentioning here, you see just Cassie focusing all those damage dealers, forgets about Barrack until it's 99%, and at that point, she's just forced into a horrible position to contest that point.
You know, one of the beautiful things I think about Barrack, one of the actual, I think, highly mechanical plays that he can pull off is kind of that dance we saw Epps just do around his barricade. One of the oldest mechanics in Paladins that I can think of, and it just gives him so much more effective HP in a fight if he knows how to bounce back and forth between that barricade. It just forces you to have to tear it down before you can get to his HP, and he's got 3,000 of it. He's got healing stations. He is playing this character so well on the point.
And he's going to continue to do so. And picking off low targets is something Barrack can do very, very well as sustain himself in these duels, as Nick was mentioning, with the jukes and with the heals. And so now he lets a turret drop from the back and something to retreat to heal from that obviously won't be in the immediate line of fire. And also if someone starts chasing him low there, they might actually fall to that turret pressure and damage, but a really good Dragon Punch available here. The Fire Spit's going to do a ton of damage, though. Chalks 30 slays JAKEB, and the Makoa here trying to find the pip, misses the hook, but he knew it was all but over for him. Goes down as well, and that turret doing all the damage to ZeNTTRiiX. He's avoiding it at this moment, but it's still shooting at him, and there's the damage to Drogos as well. ZeNTTRiiX wants the kill in the air. Will he find him? He's going to look for it, but no, Drogos will survive to live another day, and the Bomb King will go back to his peasants.
Why no Dragon Punch there in that situation? I feel like that could have been what they need. They took down the Makoa, Dragon Punch on the Fernando, who had no chance of charging up Immortal just as fast as the Dragon Punch. That's the real value in Dragon Punch. We saw during the start of that fight, Dragon Punch was ready to go. Immortal was sitting somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40%. Now it's getting closer to 70. If you're Dragon Punching off cooldown here, especially in a fight that has a good opportunity to end in a conversion, a whole point, I mean, would you blow an ultimate for a point?
Right. Right. I mean, that's the importance of knowing and keeping track of where these timers are, playing all the different champions, understanding how they build their ultimate charge, where they're likely to be in comparison to you. Drogos anybody is going to
Do
know
it.
that
Yes.
it is going to be it. The Dragon Punch going to come through for
Big
the
money.
Makoa. 10K
Big
onto
money.
the damage, and that is going to put him in the lead, possibly on the damage charts. And Arise certainly in the lead.
Oh, baby.
And there it is,
That's a big money
63,000.
punch right there,
he
dude.
Just said, he just said, see you later, Cassie. I'll take all this Makoa
That's
HP.
like 8K free damage there.
I had no idea Makoa was this free.
Yeah, dude. Oh, baby. That's the Dragon Punch we all wanted to see at home. ZeNTTRiiX actually going for aggression this game, like we mentioned. 4 Havens on the side of Arise, so as long as he doesn't focus Epps too much, that's going to be paying dividends for him as well. Protection fleshed out fully with 4 items, 1 from each category. That is Kill the Heal, Morale Boost, Haven 2, Deft Hands. A lot of variety, a lot of colors here today on the items board.
And those items, despite the colors, have not paid dividends for Lo-Rez Studios. We're seeing a blanket, a rainbow of different shades here, and that is going to result in the exact same flank by one of the teams, which I find just marvelous in terms of their commitment and confidence in that approach. It hasn't worked for Lo-Rez either way, so they're going to take a different one. They're going to go on the right side flank. The Makoa shield is burned down so incredibly fast, you wonder if it even existed. The Fire Spit is not going to be right on time to finish off the Fernando, but it will force the Immortal out and force so much other of the champions to back off and get away that they are now in a very serious position despite being in the lead 54%. They could all go down in an instant.
Fire Spit pressure, not going to be enough to finish off at any tanks. ZeNTTRiiX will fall, though. Dragon Punch getting closer and closer. Already 60% charge. JAKEB gets punished. Hook goes through reversal there, JAKEB. And the objective captured very swiftly from Lo-Rez Studios. A lot of great point control from both of these frontliners, as well as a lot of consistent backline damage from Grift onto this Shaolin.
I mean, DarkRider had his ultimate as well, or at least has it right now in this very moment. And so it was very close to being able to be used on both the Fernando and the Makoa towards the end of that fight, but for whatever reason was not able to do so, and that early aggressiveness did not pay off for him. Although it did seem that Lo-Rez was in the inferior position there for at least a slight moment, but ZeNTTRiiX is the Bomb King looking to perform, but you know who else looking to perform? That's Protection on the Buck. He's gonna slay Chalk's 30 and leap back in, trying to face off against Shaolin. This is why they picked him. They want Shaolin to win this battle, but can he do so? Not with protections. Shooting the net from long range. This guy's going fly fishing, but I mean, this is like the extended version.
Yeah, Protection getting in there at the opportune moment, I want to say, because Planted was down when he jumped in on Chalk's 30, so he cleans up Chalk's, knowing the main threat to him, that Planted in the back line, is going to be down, impaled off the side in a rough spot here. Going to be able to leap away to safety, pop that recovery for now. Minutes still remaining on the payload push. Buck Wild is ready to go as well here. Both teams just trying to get some poke advantage out.
And Buck very good at poking as well. Even if it's 150, it's that continual pressure that Buck can provide, getting you down, especially when you take damage from different sources. ZeNTTRiiX in the air. He's going to be able to have his bombs removed thanks to Buck's leap, and he's going to leap one more time, get around the corner, but it's not going to chase him far enough away from Cassie's bow and arrow. And so she will find the kill onto the flanker who's been causing so much trouble for her king, her majesty. And that's the Bomb King right there, played by ZeNTTRiiX. And so as they continue this push, things have been looking much more solid for Lo-Rez Studios at this point, finding a little bit of rhythm, especially having northernkyle not be on any streaks and really not finding his rhythm as the Drogos has been doing in previous rounds.
Missing that second Fire Spit there. Dragon Punch ready to go. I would like to see this come out sooner rather than later. Get the Immortal off the table early before it gets close to conversion here. Start getting it charged back up again. Seeing it work before. Work again here, doesn't want to pop it, doesn't even have the Immortal. MrMCgrady gonna fall down here, 6 seconds remaining. He's gonna be able to save that. Finds a nice one over the top. Fire Spit angles for northernkyle right now.
northernkyle just looking as pretty as the Northern Lights. He and his team are gonna take this defense back home and put themselves in a position to win this game 3-2. It's where they've stood. And of course, no extra point will be given on a defense in Paladins when is the game-winning point on the line. And a lot of credits to be spent, Nick.
Yep, definitely here, Mako. Where will he go? northernkyle with morale boost too. This is why I don't want to see him holding that ultimate too often, because he has the ability to get it charged up so quick. He's landing 2-3 target Fire Spits twice in every fight there, getting himself, 20 to 30% charge just off that alone. Letting these Dragon Punches rip is going to put them in the position to succeed. Everyone just fleshing out those level 2s, those level 3s of the items. You've seen them all before. A couple of late cauterizes coming in, though, from Grift and M7 here. But DarkRider, I don't feel, is super focused on healing. A lot of these characters on Arise can sustain by themselves. You got Barrack Healing Station, you've got the Abyss Walker you got Recovery, you've got all that good stuff, where they don't really need DarkRider to babysit them too much.
Which is really important to this composition as well. Buckwild, he's definitely going to clean up ZeNTTRiiX if possible. Long-range rocket is going to try to do it. He doesn't exactly know where the Bomb King is, and look at how much time ZeNTTRiiX is wasting. He may heal back up, but that crucial shot will do so much damage, but he's going back to butt space.
Wow.
And yes, he has stalled, but he has also put
Took a wrong turn. Oh, baby, big money.
In a long position. See ya later. Waits for the Ancient Rage, counters it immediately. And now he's going to be able to get, the shield actually coming up to save anything, and actually JAKEB taking down MrMCgrady before the rocket would have hit for the fire spit. And ZeNTTRiiX, one more shot at winning it, but he cannot come back despite the long race that he took the buck on.
Yeah.
He will come in second, and that will be the victory.
Found himself in the wrong neighborhood there. ZeNTTRiiX's 14th death. Almost the most in the game, actually. He was under a lot of fire there from Protection's Buck, who only had 6 deaths. Able to just be on the low end of this death spectrum every game that he has played. northernkyle, I believe, coming in first place here on the damage charts by a long shot. Almost 20,000 over JAKEB there. A lot of Dragon Punches. A lot of that came down to 2 Ancient Rage Dragon Punches. Will get you there.
And you see also just, the damage that ZeNTTRiiX was able to do. It's not going to be where you want to carry your team. You want him to burst a couple of targets and get them down. But you really want to see the Shaolin. You want to see him right near where the Cassie is. And unfortunately, Grift wasn't really feeling himself on that. He played the Ying before. Might have been an interesting call or decision, but overall, really good play. I mean, what can you do? Protection's Buck is just phenomenal. Yep. And it's something that XenoSea Virtue, they're going to have to deal with. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's transpired in the series. And, of course, in this bracket, you will see Arise taking the victory. 3-0, a sweep over Lo-Rez Studios, and find themselves in the finals against the winners of our next semifinal match, Virtue or XenoSea.
We've seen their quarterfinal matchup. They have what it takes to win this tournament. They have what it takes, now guaranteeing themselves at least 60 points now that they have guaranteed at least second place for this tournament. They're going to move themselves up. I believe they have 10 points currently. That'll get them in the neighborhood of 70 at a minimum today here. So they're putting themselves in a very good spot to make those finals in the next week.
Hey, you want to put yourself in a good spot? You want to put yourself in a good spot? Make sure you link your Twitch account and your Hi-Rez account. You get a free Ying weapon skin stylized off of Twitch. You're going to be the coolest guy playing Ying.
It's all about that new
in your Paladins game, okay? A lot of layers to that, but you will be the coolest guy in that scenario. Also, if you want to take part of the giveaway, hit ! giveaway in Twitch and follow the link that appears there, or in YouTube, go into the description, copy that link, and put it in your browser and enter your information there to win some cool stuff, some crystal codes from us here at Paladins Game. Virtue, XenoSea coming up next. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you in a sec.